All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, I'm going to be answering a burning question that has been asked by so many different people lately. As everyone is getting back into Destiny 2, they're getting excited about the new slash reprised raid that's coming out next season and everything else. People are getting in that big Destiny rush. They're getting ready for things, and they want to know, as a returning player, what exotic should I grab from the kiosk, the Monument to the Lost Lights that's located in the tower here. What exotics should I grab? What exotics are going to be important next season? And if you're a new light player, this is going to be especially helpful for you because I'm going to go over everything in a brief, short video here. And even if you're a returning player or if you're an extremely experienced player, this will also be enlightening to you because I've taken my time and I've actually gone through each and every one of these, and I'm going to make a very clear, concise video here. So I'm starting with the Red War exotics. We've got two exotics here that are must-haves inside the game. We've got Outbreak Perfected, and we've got Legend of Acryus. Arc 3.0 is about to be insane, and Legend of Acryus also has been announced to be getting a buff with Trench Barrel on it. So this thing's about to be absolutely nuts. It might be the strongest exotic next season altogether. We don't know, but it seems like it's going to be really exciting and really fun to use. So make sure you grab this. And Outbreak is not getting any sort of crazy buff next season that I know of, but it's just right now it is such a good weapon to have. It is just an absolute workhorse. It's fun to use in PvP. It's extremely good to use in PvE. Make sure you have Outbreak Perfected. Three other weapons that are of notable mention but are not must-haves. Okay, these two are must-haves. These are of notable mention. We're going to go over Whisper of the Worm is an excellent exotic sniper in the heavy slot. It has great damage output. We also have Polaris Lance is also a really good option. And then Sleeper is also a decent option for linear fusions, but there's a lot better out there, so keep that in mind. But those are also three potentials that you might go for if you already had those two. Now moving on to the next one, we're going to go over Forsaken Exotics. The Ace of Spades is my go-to hand cannon. This thing is top tier in PvP. It must have. You got to have this thing. You got to use this thing in PvP if you haven't been using it, of course. That is definitely an excellent weapon to have. The last word is still really, really good, even after the nerfs. Don't be fooled. This thing is a must-have weapon, something you want to use, especially if you're on controller. This thing is a beast. The Le Monarch is probably the most must-have exotic out of all of the exotics in the entire kiosk here. You need to get this exotic. This thing is about to be absolutely nuts with it having overload. It's going to be stunning overload champs. It's going to be insane. It's going to be so strong. It already was such a good exotic before getting overload, so it's about to be absolutely nuts with all the changes. So make sure you have Le Monarch and get ready to use it because it's about to be nuts. Now, moving on to the rest of this list, Jotun is not a must-have, but I do see goofballs run around with it. Same with Izzy. Izzy is good if you're doing like Izzy rocket swapping, but it's not a must-have by any means. Thorn, it can also be thrown up there as well. And then Bad Juju did get a lot of hype, and it's not the worst pulse rifle ever, but just doesn't feel quite as good as others. Anarchy might be a must-have. I want to give a big asterisk on this. Might. It seems like Bungie has been nerfing and adjusting this thing for a while because it was so strong and so potent for such a long period of time. And it is an arc power weapon. It may not be the best next season, but it has potential, right? It's Arc 3.0. Who knows? Maybe Anarchy will be an absolute beast. Maybe Bungie will make this one of the stronger weapons. It depends on what the artifact mods will be and a variety of different things. Right now, it's not the best in any regard, but it's not the worst either. It's definitely noteworthy and something you might want to grab. The same thing will be said about the Tarba. Not a must-have weapon, but is a really solid SMG. If you know how to play PvP even moderately well, you slap on a Tarba and go into Rumble, you're going to have a really good time. You can rock this in Trials. You can rock this in a variety of different challenging PvP environments. This is really, really good SMG. And of course, the Always On Time Sparrow is not a weapon, but it is the fastest Sparrow right now. Moving on to the next one, we've got Shadowkeep Exotics. The Leviathan's Breath does have Unstoppable, but still is not a must-have in any means. The Ariana's Vow is one I'm going to say is noteworthy, but not a must-have. It's great for anti-barrier. Always a good option. But there's better out there. There's Arbalest. Even after Arbalest got this small nerf, it's still really, really good and the better option for anti-barrier, in my opinion. And then Bastion, decent, and it does have Unstoppable. Symmetry, I've seen people talk about, whoa, Symmetry will be crazy because it's an Arc Scout. Doubting. Very, very doubting. I could live to be wrong about this. Symmetry could be amazing, but I'm doubting that Symmetry is going to do anything crazy in Arc 3.0. But we'll see. Time will tell. Devil's Ruin is actually pretty decent and actually slaps, but not necessarily a must-have. Tommy's Matchbook, same thing. The Fourth Horseman, I'm going to put this in the must-have category. This thing has unbelievably good damage output, and with Arc 3.0 coming out, I can only imagine that it will be one of the better options for something in the game. There will be some encounter or something, maybe in the new raid, or the reprise raid rather, where this will be like the go-to weapon synergized with certain artifact mods. I'm gonna put some money on it. I could be wrong, but the fourth horseman I'm putting in the must-have category. Along with the Witherhoard, you must have the Witherhoard. It's so good in PvP. It's so good in PvE. It is just an absolute workhorse. Get the Witherhoard if you don't already have it. I'm sure most of you do though. And then we've got the Ruinous Effigy. It's meh, and then the Traveler's Chosen is pretty good if you're on controller, but I'm not gonna be big fuss over that. Moving on to the Beyond Light exotics, the Duality is a really solid shotgun. It has both slug and pellet. Uh, it's not a half bad choice to just pick up. Like it's a nice shotgun to just pick up. So you might want to use that there. I'm not going to say that's in the must-have category by any means. The Tikus, however, is in the must-have category. Definitely an extremely strong bow. Make sure to grab that if you don't already have that. Cryesthesia, not so much. Lawrence Driver, if you're on controller and you know how to play PvP, even just moderately well, if you put on a Lawrence Driver, you're going to be almost an actual freaking demigod. This thing is so good right now. Will it get a harsh nerf? Will it be brought down? Time will tell. But right now, Lawrence Driver controller users in PvP and trials are just so good, and this is definitely a must-have weapon. The Agar Scepter is definitely noteworthy. I'm not going to say it's must-have, but if you spec into the right build with this, this thing is actually a really beast and can do a lot of crazy damage with that, and really good for stasis builds. Moving on to the Witch Queen, we've got just the one, the Grand Overture. Nothing too crazy here. It is an arc weapon, but there's nothing to squawk over with this exotic machine gun. I don't think that's going to be meta, so I wouldn't worry about grabbing that. And then as far as legacy gear goes, a lot of this is sunset, so of course you're not going to need to grab any sunset stuff. But one weapon, if you haven't already grabbed it, which most of you will, would be the Salvager Salvo. Will definitely be worth having. Salvo is already extremely good right now, and it is Arc 3.0. You can connect the dots. And that's going to be a wrap on all of this. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below if you agree or disagree with my opinions on which exotics people should be grabbing right now. And again, I will bring an updated video after we get into next season, after we're maybe a week into it or 2 weeks into it. I'll bring an updated video after we know what the meta is and what the best weapons are, best exotics are, etc. So that way you know exactly what you should be spending your time and investing your time in grabbing from the Monuments to the Lost Light. That's wrapping this video though. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Later.